All right, here we go. Got another little project. Oh boy, this is not going to be a little project. I was able to pick up this Prius for free from a family member. Had fun getting it here from San Diego to Arizona. Drove it, got into Yuma, and the inverter water pump went out. And since I had taken the bus actually to San Diego to pick this thing up, of course I didn't have any tools. Luckily, I found off of Craigslist, I found a mobile mechanic, guy working out of his car basically, to change it for 75 bucks, and I paid 150 bucks for it at the Toyota dealership. Got out of Yuma, and just about to Casa Grande, I noticed the high voltage battery was overheating. So I had to stop for quite a few hours and let it cool down. Continued on the trip, got within like 20 miles of home base and heard a big pop. Red triangle came up, and I figured, boy, I blew at least one of the cells in the high voltage battery, and that was it. So I limped home, basically, 10 miles per hour, last 20 miles. Got it the next day. I pulled the code on it, and it said the temperature sensors were faulty for the high voltage battery. And I just kind of figured, well, popped one of the cells, probably took out the sensor. Did a little bit of research, and you can't buy the sensors and stuff. It comes with a thing. And a couple days later, came back, and I can't remember whether I reset the code or it just went away. And high voltage battery charges up fine on there. Everything's working fine. And the reason, at first I thought the reason that it went out, I have this all torn apart because I was cleaning it. It was very, very filthy. But the reason I thought it went out is this fan here cools the high voltage battery. And the biggest thing is it gets all gunked up in here and doesn't move the air. Well, when I tore this apart, first thing I noticed is that, you see this piece here? This comes off the fan, comes into the battery, and it comes out that ducting down below and goes out. That's what removes the hot air. This wasn't on there. When basically when this car was rebuilt, which I'm sure it was rebuilt because there's weld marks all over, they didn't put that in. They took it out, it wasn't in. And being in San Diego, I guess it was fine. It never overheated. But of course in Arizona, it gets warm. So I had to pay it's 108 bucks for that piece of plastic there from Toyota. Because I didn't know the name of it, couldn't find out really the exact part number or anything. After I bought it, when I looked it up online, it still would have cost me around 100 bucks from what the research I did. So I got that in, cleaned the fan, and took it for a little test drive and did fine. And last one I did, I was only going to go like 50 miles. I ended up going 178, and it did fine on there. No overheating and everything, and actually got 47 miles to the gallon, so that was good. And you see the tail lights are out. I'm actually be doing another video on that, and hopefully how to replace the brake lights cheaply. Because on these, they're sealed in, and if the brake lights go out, which it did on this side completely, and I think 2 of them on this side, they want you to replace the whole thing for they're like, the cheapest I found was like 70 bucks each. And what I'm doing on this is going to be basically any kind of hacks, cheapness I can do on this. That's what I'm doing. This is going to be how to spend the least amount of money trying to get a Prius as a little I'm going to use it for commuting, but I'm going to make it into like a little camper too, for the Prius camping. I've already scrubbed the seats a couple times, but you can still see they're pretty nasty. I think on the back here at least I'm going to end up leaving out the seats and just building a platform and everything for the camper part. Again, I scrubbed these too, and you know, they're still pretty nasty. And I'm just going to scrub them some more and get some good seat covers. But let me see, other than the brake lights I'm doing, this is a 2004, and it does have that trouble with the cluster, where every once in a while it basically stays blank like that. So I picked up a capacitor. I'm going to be tearing this apart, replacing that capacitor to see if that works. Like I said, I picked up the capacitor for $1.29, and cross our fingers that that's the fix on it. You know, if not, I'll have to send it in to have it repaired. And little grill missing there. The lights, I've actually already, they were so yellow you couldn't even see the bulbs. I mean, I know it's yellow now, but I'm talking about it was so yellow you couldn't see anything through it. So I got the $8 kit at Walmart and sanded it down and coated it. I mean, I know they're still bad, but they are much better than they were. And I think I need to replace one of the bulbs in here. And basically a lot of cleaning and a few repairs. But I mean, other than the, the breakdowns that I had, I mean, even with the battery out most of the trip, I think I still average probably 40 miles to the gallon. And the little engine is strong on it. It's got 100 and, was it 100 and, well, on the odometer it says 105. I know when the dash is blank, it doesn't add the mileage. But I know, like saying it's from a family member, and you know what she told me on there, it's like she you know, figured out how to reset it and everything, so it wasn't off, it's never off for very long. So I'm still thinking, I mean, even worst case, it's got 110,000 miles on it. And when you drive it, I mean, that's what it feels like. And the engine doesn't feel worn out, nothing feels worn out. Very smooth. It's surprisingly, I mean, I kept looking down, and on the flats there, you know, I was going 85, 90 miles per hour on this thing. It surprised me, and I, you know, have to slow down on it. Well, that's going to be it. And yeah, hopefully I can get this done cheap enough and everything, and do a little bit of Prius camping. And then, of course, you know, for those trips to town and everything where I could save some money on gas, that always helps. All right, until the next video.